Hi there, welcome to Cocktail Mode, the podcast where me, Andy, and my good mate Dave take a retro game and try and pair it with a cocktail. This week we're going to talk about Starfox. We're also going to talk a little bit about Starfox 2 and Starfox 64.
And Star Wing.
And Lilat Wars? It's the worst name ever.
Apparently that confuses the fuck out of Americans. They see the cover image for Lilac Wars and they're like, what the fuck is that?
It is a stupid name. You think, unless you're really into it, you think the amount we played Star Wing, knowing it was Star Fox anyway.
Yeah.
And then Lilac Wars comes out. There is no point, really, in the game of Star Wing / Fox that it talks about the Lilac system in any great detail. Completely passed me by. And then the next game that come out, they've got Lilac Wars in the box. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. But apparently Star Wing didn't actually do very well. Star Fox internationally was a massive success, but Star Wing in Europe didn't sell particularly well.
Was that right?
So when it came to releasing the N64 version, they thought, let's dump Star Wing as a name, because the reason we didn't use Star Fox is still there.
Yeah.
So we'll call it, I don't know, Lilac Wars? Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, why not?
Good enough.
It could have been called Star Wing 2, couldn't it? But yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would have probably put a lot of people off. But I've only found out today the actual reason why they changed the name, because I always assumed it was because there was an old Spectrum game came out in like mid-80s called Starfox. It's not because of that. It was only sort of really figured out, as far as I can tell, in around sort of the mid-2000s.
Is it like a browser or something like that?
No, it's a German company called Starfox.
That's it.
And F's are pronounced a bit V-like in heavy German accents. So that's why they changed it. And obviously when the N64 game was coming out, that company still existed.
Yeah.
And then obviously over time didn't anymore. But I can't find out who they were or what they did.
No.
I found some like industrial machinery called Starfox. So whether it's that or not, I don't know. It does make me laugh because every web article and I suppose old magazine article that I found, every single one going from like the early 2000s to like last year has it as this big revelation. Oh, the real reason it was called Starwing. Like, yeah, you're like 12 years late. Could have just called it The Adventures of Fox McCloud or some bollocks. Or just come up with something better than Starwing.
I mean, Star is there, isn't it? Because of Star Wars and
Star Wars, Star Trek, Star Fox.
Yeah, it's all because of that. So I guess they didn't want to drop that.
Well, the other one as well that I always think it's sort of kind of similar and a little bit related to is, do you remember an old puppet show called Starfleet?
I don't.
Find the first episode of Starfleet and watch that on YouTube.
Oh,
it's fantastic. They have a ship that like forms together. 3 separate ships form one big robot thing. It's very sort of Saturday morning cartoon stuff. But yeah, well worth a look. And apparently Miyamoto was a massive fan of Thunderbirds.
Yes.
So that could have actually have been an influence. Bit of a guess, but you never know.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad shout, isn't it? Yeah, because the characters on the box, aren't they? They're sort of fluffy, puppety looking things.
Yeah, they're puppets that were made for the promotion.
Yeah. If you've never played Star Wing or Star Fox, it's a rail shooter, essentially. It was an FX chip game, meaning it was polygon 3D with basically a very early graphics chip on the cartridge.
The first of its kind.
Yeah?
The first 3D accelerator chip that existed.
Amazing.
In a games console. There's probably like military shit that precedes it, I would imagine. Flight sims of the day.
You'd probably hope so. 1993 it came out. But yeah, it's a rail shooter. It's not, massively dissimilar from Space Harrier in concept in the broad thing, other than, what you're actually flying is a spaceship. You've got your buddies flying along with you. It is as simple as that, really. But it put it out there early doors. It's fucking brilliant.
It is a great game.
It is so good. So good. It's one of those games that's lodged itself into my muscle memory. That I played it for the first time in decades and got to the last level but died quite quickly. And then the second time I played it, I beat it.
See, I have incredible muscle memory for this game for the first level only. I could do the first level without basically taking any hits. 98, 99, 100% playthrough, everything great. Second levels, I'm shit at all 3 of them. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't remember anything. Don't know when to speed up, when to slow down, what to shoot, what to avoid, all of that.
Yeah.
I played it earlier and I got probably most of the way through the hard second level because there's 3 branching paths you can go through.
Yes.
And yeah, I got to a bit where you're like flying through spinning like geometrical physical shapes and just crashed and died.
Oh, they're like girders, right?
Yeah, that's it. I'm pretty sure those sections were heavily influenced by 3D Star Strike, if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
But no, seriously, as I was playing it, I thought, this is the evolution of the Star Wars arcade game, Star Strike. Star Strike 2 is very much that sort of flying down a tunnel or a duct. No, a duct, wasn't it? Not a trench,
yes.
Duct.
An
equatorial duct. Yeah, just the sort of obstacles there are, the girders and the things to go over and under and things that are spinning, so you have to time it right to go through the holes. It's all there, like 10 years before this.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And Jez Sand, the head of Argonaut Software, did work with real time. Wow. They put out the Spectrum version of his game Starglider and Starglider 2.
Of course, yeah, they didn't they?
So there is a link there to be drawn. It's not just a thing that I've come up with off the top of my head.
That's intriguing. I must admit, I used to think back in the day, because you're never sure, aren't you? When you're young, you just play games. I loved Star Fox, Starwing as it was to me. The difference between Star Fox and Star Wing, by the way, is 10 frames a second.
Yeah, 10 very important frames.
1993, they're putting a new chip in a SNES so it can do solid polygon 3D. And the Spectrum was doing it in 1986 off a tape.
Yeah.
I mean, even fewer frames a second, to be fair. Probably a tenth as many at some points, but yeah, but you're right, there are similarities there, absolutely. What came back to me the most about it, playing it again, was the atmosphere of it, the music and the sound effects, and it's got sort of genuine gravitas is the wrong one, but it's got a bit of drama about it, considering, it's
got class, it's got style.
Yeah, you're an anthropomorphic fox flying your R-wing, as if it wasn't ripping off Star Wars enough already with the name. And your mates are a rabbit, falcon, and
toad. He's a toad.
And yet, even with that, it just feels like Dave's right. It's just really quality, really sort of high end, classy, really well made. I mean, obviously, it's Nintendo. It's a bit of an Anglo-Japanese release because Dave's already mentioned Argonaut Software a few times. They built the engine and did a lot of the programming for.
They built the Super FX chip.
I didn't realise that.
Apparently they had an early working version of they called it NES Glider.
Yeah.
So it's like Star Glider on the NES, and then they ported it over to the SNES and said to Nintendo, we can make it look better, but we're going to have to build a chip and put it in the cartridge because your machine is not good enough to do this properly, to do this well. I thought it was great. How the stones it must take to say to Nintendo, yeah, we can make this much, much better if we make your hardware better.
Yeah. The game they started working with Nintendo on, a game just called X, which is wireframe 3D on the Game Boy, which is just madness.
Presumably it looks like those old Spectrum games.
It looks exactly like Tau Ceti. It looks exactly like that. And it plays not too dissimilar as well. It's quite good fun. I have it, a beautiful boxed Japanese copy. And it's great. They did a Micro Machines. They hacked the chip to get the game on it and then took it to Nintendo and said, this is what we can do. And Nintendo went, nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Which again, that's some stones, isn't it? Just walk into Nintendo. Yeah. We hacked your software and your hardware, and this is what we can do while you're dicking around with sprites.
We like what you've done there. It's very cute.
Yeah.
Here's a proper game.
Pretty cool. But yeah, that's the start of that whole relationship. It wasn't Jez San who went on to be Q Games, was it? That was one of the other guys. Dylan Cuthbert, who was one of the main guys at Argonaut as well.
Yes.
They'd done some cool things. He went on to make Starfox Command, which apparently it takes a lot of influence from what was at the time, because Starfox Command came out in 2006, the unreleased Starfox 2. So I think that's pretty cool that even though they killed off Starfox 2, he got to sort of almost not quite recreate it, but do some stuff with the ideas that he had for it.
Yeah. It did eventually come out, Starfox 2, when they released the SNES Classic.
It was batting around the internet as a ROM prior to that.
Yeah, I've got it. And that ROM must be a good 25 years old.
Yeah.
Because I only ever downloaded one set of SNES ROMs. At least 25 years ago. Because one of the first things I did when I first got my PC was started to download like MAME stuff and emulators. Because they took no space. They were tiny little files and you could download over dial-up really, really easily. And it was before everybody realised how legal it was.
Just one last thing on Q Games. If you know the Pixel Junk series, it's Q Games that make the Pixel Junk games, and a lot of them are very good. As I say, we're going to talk today about the games that fall into our lump of retro, which in retrospect includes Starfox 2, even though it only came out for the first time a few years back. It was made in, I think,
1995.
Fucking as early as that.
Yeah, it was basically being made when the PlayStation was starting to come out.
Yes.
And that's what made them think, oh, hang on a second.
Yeah.
This looks shit compared to that. Because it's just an upgraded version of Starfox, really.
Yeah, the story goes that it was finished and just about to get shipped out the door. And Miyamoto said, actually, 3D consoles are coming. Let's not release this. Put all your efforts into the N64 and Starfox 64, and then just didn't ship it.
Yeah.
Having played Starfox 2, both when it first came out on the SNES Mini that I bought and earlier this week, I call bullshit on that whole story.
Why?
That is not a finished game. It's completely playable. Every single part of it is playable. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's 100%. All the graphics there, the sounds there, the music's there. It's 100% playable. Fine. It's also just completely unbalanced. So I don't think it's been play tested at all to add balance to it. I completed it both times I've played it in one go on my first go.
Yeah, everything I've read said it's far too easy.
The frame rate is apparently better than Starfox, but somehow looks worse when you're actually playing it.
I don't think the frame rate is better because I've got one of the ROMs I've got, and I've got a lot of them for some unknown reason. I don't know what the differences are. The one that I was playing earlier has a frame rate display. It's obviously a debugging version, and it's 20 at most. Dips down to like 11 most of the time.
Yeah, I don't know, because again, it was released officially by Nintendo, so I don't know how different that version would be. But yeah, I just call bullshit on the fact that it was a finished game. I think maybe the story about Miyamoto pulling it is true because the N64 is coming, but I don't think it was on the doorstep of release. It's just not quite there. It just doesn't pull together as a game. And it was, again, it was made by the same people, directed by the same guy, Argonaut involved. It wasn't like it was a B team or anything like that. And when you compare the two games together, there's just no comparison at all.
I think the main sticking point of it was that it used the Super FX 2 chip.
Yes.
Which was expensive to make. So without the benefit of being able to guarantee sales in a market that is going up against 32-bit 3D consoles, that could have been hugely damaging. Yeah. So I get it. I understand it.
Because games that release late in a console's life cycle are, they do not sell.
Yeah. But also, they're usually really good.
Yeah.
Because the people have had so much time to work with it and know the limitations and know what they can do with it, and they squeeze every ounce of power it's got. So those dying throws of a console often throw up some really, really good games. Yeah,
it just balances out, because in the early days of a console, you can put out any old shit and it will sell millions. And at the end of a console's lifestyle, you can make the best game ever and no one will buy it.
Yeah.
Because they're all saving up for their shiny new thing.
It basically describes every game on the Dreamcast.
Talk to me about your experiences with Star Wing.
My experiences of Star Wing, I never had it, I don't think. I can remember playing it a lot. So I either borrowed a SNES and Star Wing as one of the games for quite a while, or I borrowed the game off of somebody when I actually had my own SNES for a while. But I can remember playing it through and finishing it on pretty much all three of the routes.
Yeah.
So I would have been pretty good at the time, because I can remember the weird special hidden boss that's a fruit machine.
Yes.
So I definitely got to that. But I loved it. I've always thought it was a brilliant, brilliant game. Loved the fact that it ran at 9 frames a second. I always take the piss out of things like that, but it genuinely is a great game. The presentation is like a Saturday morning cartoon, which is what I feel it always should have been.
Yeah.
I feel like there should have been a Saturday morning cartoon based on this, and I'm amazed they've never done it. But yeah, no, it's brilliant. Absolutely loved it. The music's great. The visuals are great. Fantastic. The characters are fun. There's actual character just from text.
Yeah.
You get like, Falco is this sort of uppity prick.
Yeah.
The hair guy is a bit jittery, and the Toad is a bit sort of laid back and a bit techie.
Yeah.
But not a great pilot. And it's just literally, there's nothing to tell you this. It's just all just through playing it and just seeing what happens through the game. Those characters come through with the bare minimum of exposition of any kind whatsoever.
It is a masterclass in that, isn't it? It's really,
exactly.
It's a tiny amount of text, and even the character portraits are incredibly simple, but it that gets those personalities across.
Yeah.
To the point that, if you are a bit shit and you get to the end of the game, and spoilers, when you beat the original game, the sort of end sequences, you flying off into the sky with your team behind you. There is you and 3 others, as already mentioned. And I remember if there was like one missing, I'd be gutted. I would be so just... And it's not like in Star Fox 64, it's like they're back at base getting repairs. Oh no, Star Fox.
They're dead.
They're dead. They're dead. And they're dead because you didn't shoot that guy on their tail fast enough.
It's cannon fodder all over again.
Which is a great mechanic in it, the whole... I mean, both sides of it. Both occasionally your teammates fly past you and they've got an enemy on their tail and you have to shoot it off. And occasionally they're chasing one of the enemies and you can steal their kill off them and they have a little whinge at you. And it's just great. It's just so simple and so brilliant.
If you take out one that's being chased, don't they hang around for a bit and help you as well?
Yeah.
So there is a benefit to it, as well as not letting them die.
Yeah.
There is actually a point to it. There is a reason for it.
Yeah, they come and they sit sort of just off your wing a bit, don't they? And just almost off screen, but not quite, and just shoot.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's great. And just the variety of things in it as well. At that first level, which is 99% of my experience of the game in the last 20 years. Because I'll fire it up, play that first level, and then just turn it off.
Yeah.
Because that's it. I've seen enough of it to remember it fondly and not have to play through the rest of it that I don't know very well. But that first level, you've got various types of enemies that are made up of like geometric shapes, but all like a flashing point to sort of show their vulnerable point.
Yeah.
And then there's like giant mechs walking around that just seem to be like construction bots.
Yeah.
That aren't even like part of the invasion force.
No.
There's all these like archways to fly through. There's little bonuses you can pick up. Like you can double the fire of the ship. You can pick up extra smart bombs and all sorts. But also as well, you don't need to shoot anything.
No.
You can fly through that entire first level and not shoot a single bullet because you get to the end of it regardless of what you do.
Yeah, as Dave's already mentioned, if you start and there are 3 ways through it, there are 3 paths, the normal and then 2 harder paths. And the hardest one, which I think is the bottom one, as they're illustrated on screen, you know it because when you start the first level, it's like sunset rather than blue skies.
Oh, okay.
When you get to the end of that, those mech robots are carrying the pieces of the first level final boss. You play, so they're just carrying that across, and that's such a cool little thing. And then you fight a different boss at the end of it because that one's just being carted off. It's very, very cool, and the game is just full of really great stuff like that. The arches that show up on the first level, and you fly through them, you get a bonus thing. There's nothing to tell you to do that. It's just you think, oh, cool, I'll go and do that. I'll go and do that, and you got to fly through it, and you get a bonus for doing it.
You are guided a little bit because one of your wingmen comes onto screen and starts to fly through them.
Yeah, I think it's actually kind of might be even a bit more obvious than that because it's Slippy and he just goes, hey, look, and off he goes. But yeah, all this with about 10 polygons per ship and a little pixel character in the bottom of your screen. It's just very, very cool. And almost entirely absent in Star Fox 2 as well, which is another thing I don't like about Star Fox 2. All that stuff just seems to be a bit less polished, a little less well-rounded a little bit. Did you play Star Fox 2 much?
I did. I played it a little bit. I got through, because you start off and you're free to go wherever you want on the map rather than choosing routes to follow a predefined path. So I just clicked on a battleship and went through it. Starts off, and as soon as it starts, I was taken aback a little bit because it goes first person in a cockpit view.
Yes.
Which I really like, because I love it when it does that in the original game. Because, you know, you stuff on the planet is viewed from behind your ship. As soon as you go up into space, it goes to a first person cockpit view. And I always thought that was really good, the way it changes between the two. Bumps the frame rate up a bit as well.
Wait, what didn't it? Yeah.
Because you're not trying to do all these ships really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was enjoying it, flying through, shooting whatever there was to shoot, aiming towards this big ship. And I had no preconception of what was going to happen either. I just assumed, I'm going to get to a big boss fight with that ship and I'll blow it up. Didn't realise you'd fly into the ship, and then once you're inside the ship, you can change into a mech.
Yes.
Press the select button and you turn into a little walker thing.
Yeah.
And start walking down this corridor. I thought, this is brilliant. I loved this. I was really interested by it. I thought, this is such a shame this didn't come out at the time. I guess if they'd have been a bit quicker with it and got it out earlier,
yeah,
they might have been able to finish it off and get it properly out there. But yeah, the little walker bit, go into like a power core of the ship, sort of strafe around it and shoot it. No, it takes like 20 seconds. It's not exactly a boss fight.
No.
Oh, that's a fantastic little touch. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the walker is cool. And they did sort of start as the series moved on. I think it's kind of something they try to do. Like in Starfox 64, there's a thing called a Landmaster, I think it's called, which is a tank. I hate that level, or those levels, I should say, in Starfox 64. They don't sit well with me. I don't really see the point in them, to the point where you barrel roll the tank to avoid enemy fire. It just feels like it's not tried very hard. And you know, the tank can fly. It's just like, this is not really.
Why not just have a ship?
Why not just have the ship? Why not make a MacGuffin to say you've got to go at low boost speed for the whole thing, if that's what you're trying to do? So yeah, I didn't really.
Which it already exists in canon within the game. Yeah. Speeding up and slowing down.
Yeah. I think the walker is a good idea, not particularly well realised. It comes back in some other games that we're not talking about. I think, if I remember right, there were walker levels in Starfox Zero on the Wii U. Starfox Zero on the Wii U, by the way, if you can play it on an emulator, you'll have great time with it. The problem with Starfox Zero is that it uses the Wii pad as almost like a virtual sight with motion controls for where you aim.
Right.
Which in and of itself is a good idea. It loses tracking so often that it just ruins the game. The concept is great, and when it works brilliantly, and I loved it, but you spend so much time having to recalibrate the fucking thing. It gets really, really annoying. So if you can play it on an emulator where it probably emulate the motion controls with a joystick or with a controller, I bet it's great. I haven't played Starfox Assault, Starfox Command, or Starfox Adventures, which is not even a flying game. It's a third-person run around a planet beating things up game.
Okay.
It was going to be a game called Dinosaur Planet, and then our friend Mr. Miyamoto, who seems to hate Starfox, basically he took a game, everyone saw Dinosaur Planet and was like, that looks great. And then Miyamoto went, I tell you what, let's change it all and just make it Starfox instead. And it came out and everyone went, oh, for God's sake. There's a point 2 of Miyamoto shafting Starfox. And unfortunately Dinosaur Planet, which was so loved by the team making it that they still have models from Dinosaur Planet which never got released in their head office, apparently, at Rare.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You see interviews and that, and they're clearly trying to sort of manage a relationship. They don't want to piss Nintendo off. So they're going, yeah, it was quite disappointing. Was it?
They're going to sprinkle those models on Miyamoto's grave when he dies. Micro Machine style.
So what about 64? You played much 64?
The only experience I've had of Starfox 64 is the unofficial PC port that you told me about 2 days ago.
Yes.
Which works really, really well. You have to find a Starfox 64 ROM to load into it to make it work, but that's as easy as Googling Starfox 64.
Exactly. It was typing 10 characters into a browser.
Not difficult at all. And that works really, really well. I was quite impressed by it. I don't think it's a game I would sit and play a lot of.
No.
Yeah, it was okay. It didn't grab me. It wasn't Planet Harriers. It wasn't like this big revelation of this amazing amazing game I've never seen before.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was good. It was interesting. But no, that's well worth a look, and recently updated as well, because apparently that project was sort of stalled for quite a while. It's weird. We had this with Space Harrier and Planet Harriers. We've had it with Starfox as well.
Yeah, we got some sort of psychic connection to the modding community. I haven't played that PC version. I've tried a few times over the years play Starfox 64. I've got it now on the Nintendo 64 as a cartridge. I've only got limited consoles available to me at the minute, and the N64, for obvious reasons, is not one of the ones that I've set up. If you're not a regular listener, the obvious reason is the N64 is a piece of shit. Suck it, losers. Just not enough good games to have it worth taking up space on my very small office. That, I mean, something else to put out there. It's an N64 game that's good, Starfox 64, and that's not quibble about that. There aren't many, and it's really, really good. But I'm with you. It never grabbed me. And much as I love the original game, and I like it as a franchise. I like the characters, and I think it's worth having a bit of investment in. But it never really grabbed me in, and there was a fair bit of that was trying to map the controls.
Yeah, the PC port is perfect from the start.
Yeah, and they re-released it on the 3DS. Not even actually, it wasn't even a re-release. It was a remake. They've sort of polished up the models and things. It looks really, really great, and I think they put a lot of effort into the score as well on the 3DS version. I think if you're going to play it, it's probably the version to play, because obviously remapped all the controls. It was one of those games on the N64 that very wisely ignored 1/3 of the controller.
You need a wingman to do those controls for you.
So basically the whole left side of the controller doesn't do anything. So you hold it from the middle and the right hand prong of the existence thing.
After plugging the tentacle into your spine.
And it's it's trying to do, it's just weird. And so I've played it a few times and made it work, but there was always the weird thing about in the training mode, it's telling you what buttons to press and them not mapping and all this sort of shit. But basically I bounced off it a fair bit, a good few times, and I tried to play it. I really struggled. Then it came out on the 3DS and I played it a bit more, and then this week I thought I'd give it a proper shot and really get stuck into it. I haven't quite got to the end yet, got to the second to last level.
Oh, okay.
And it's really, really good, but it's still not got whatever that X factor is of Star Fox. And it's not nostalgia for once. It's not the fact that I loved Star Fox back in the day, but Star Fox has got something about it. It's got whatever it is, the drama of the music, the seriousness and all that. There's something there. There's something a bit special. The level that I got to on Star Fox 64, having said that, you have in the backstory that it tells you via text scroll at the beginning, your father has been double-crossed by a pig character called Pigma, I think he's called.
Yep.
And on this last level, he turns up, he's part of the, basically the, like there's Michael Knight and there's evil Michael Knight with a beard. Yeah. It's like that. So there's like a Star Fox team, but they're called Star Wolf, and each character is like the bearded Michael Knight version of one of the Star Fox characters.
You've got Fox McCloud and Wolf O'Donnell.
Yeah. It's just one of them's called Andrew. Which is awesome. But the Pigma flies in and he starts saying things like, your dad screamed as he died, and it gets it like it's some really dark shit. It's not fucking about
screaming like a stuck Irish pig. Yeah. It's Untouchables. The
actual translation of the Japanese version is your father is waiting for you in hell.
Wow. High stakes.
It's just bizarre. It really is. Especially as the character voices are a bit cheesy.
Oh, the word I would use is fucking horrific.
Yeah, mostly Slippy, but the others aren't great.
High-pitched, cheap cartoon voices. That's what put me off playing it for any amount of time. Very quickly. You sent me a message when I said, I've got this up and running. And you're like, can you have Japanese voices?
Yeah.
Let me check. Tap, tap, tap. Yes. Thank fuck. And they're much better.
The European version, Line It Wars, has an option to select basically the beep, 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 beep from Star Fox instead of any language at all.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely going to be preferable.
I was going to say that'd be my preference.
Pigma Dengar, what a prick. But yeah, it does feed into, you say, that whole Saturday morning cartoon vibe. I think there is
It is. It's exactly what it is.
Star Fox 64, I think there's sort of almost like the potential there to have leaned into it a bit more than they do. But it's definitely there. And it's cool. When you first fly into Corneria and it's in absolute ruins, it's a cool moment. It's very cool. But it's the first level. And I think after that, it never really feels that cool again. And the thing that I learned, we quite often learn things about games we've known for ages, don't we, when we're doing this, sort of doing the research and that. It's not a sequel, it's a remake of Star Fox.
Oh, okay.
The story and all that is basically forgetting everything that happened in Star Fox and going back to the beginning.
Right, okay.
Not so much a remake as a reboot, I suppose. But it is a very good game.
Yeah.
And what it adds in with what's called the free range mode, something like that.
I say, you're the one who's played it, mate. All range mode.
All range mode, there you go. It takes you off rails, so you're in a little arena fighting, and it is little.
Yeah,
very,
that took me
small.
a bit by surprise when I got to the boss at the end of the first level.
Yeah.
Because it's like flying towards him and shot him up, as you do, and then sort of turned away to avoid crashing into him, and then thought, well, now what do I do? I was like, wait a minute, I can turn round?
Yeah, you keep going.
Oh, this is awesome. Yeah, I thought that was quite interesting.
With the Star Wolf team, when they're playing you, it does some cool stuff. So when you get to the end of the edge of the area, you can do I forget what the move's called actually, but it's basically like a half loop and then a half barrel roll.
That's an Immelman turn.
There we go. I knew there was a name for it.
I know that. I've known that for years.
Which is great. And there's a loop the loop thing that you do as well. So when you're fighting, and it does it with some other enemies, but mostly with the Star Wolf team, you do like the loop, and if there's somebody shooting you from behind, you get behind them, and it feels quite dynamic and quite good fun. It is a bit canned because as soon as you get behind them, they bugger off, so you can't actually take much advantage of it. But it is cool. It does work. That concept, that all range mode, it definitely adds something to the game. But again, it's something that comes from Star Fox 2. You can do that in those. It never really feels like it as much as it does in Star Fox 64. You never really get that feeling that you have the freedom, but it is there.
Yeah, I think on the SNES there wasn't the power to really fill out the levels, so the spaces would have been very empty.
I suppose so, but then Vortex, it's very much those open arenas, and when you're in the jet mode, you're traveling very quickly with very few frames and a very short draw distance. You can see why, really. We were never going to get through a Star Fox episode without me just passing by and mentioning Vortex, which is
the other Super FX chip games.
There's more than you think, but there's still not many. But it's the one that kind of feels the most closely related to Star Fox. So you're a transforming thing. You're a tank. You can be a car. You can be a walking robot, and you can be a jet. And you go through levels, and it's even that sort of link to Star Fox, and that you find like doors, and then you go through them, and you come into an area internally where you fight stuff. If you're a fan of Star Fox and you've never played Vortex, then stop listening right now and go and play Vortex.
But please come back. Just
pause. Not stop, pause.
Yeah.
Because it's just a great game. It's brutally hard. If you think Star Fox has some frame rate issues, then Vortex is going to melt your mind. But it's a really cool game.
Do you want to know something about Vortex that will have you dribbling?
Go on then.
A port of Vortex was planned for the Jaguar.
Oh man.
Obviously never came out.
There's actually quite a lot of similarities between Star Fox and the Jaguar launch game, Cybermorph.
Oh yeah.
Particularly in that you're a flyer or you're a walker. I don't think Cybermorph you're ever a walker, but you change shape and do different things, and you're in sort of a not in any way related at all. And I imagine that Cybermorph just took a lot of inspiration from what it knew of Star Fox, etc. But I think it's not a hugely dissimilar game, and it's one of these many games that is shat on because it's on the Jaguar, and if people actually ever took the time to play it, it's actually pretty good. It's not the shit show that people like to pretend it is. unfortunately, we talked about this for a while actually, but in the early days of YouTube, there were lots and lots of YouTubers who got attention by playing an old game, not reading the instruction manual, and saying how terrible it was while screaming and throwing things around. So yeah, hateful shit. And unfortunately, Cybermorph on the Jaguar is one of those games that drew attention, as was Ghostbusters, which we both know is absolutely brilliant.
Yep.
Something I want to mention about Star Fox 64, I just remembered.
Okay.
Weirdest lock-on system I've ever experienced in a game.
Okay.
It's lock-on, but it's one target at a time, so the benefits are limited, not the Res, Panzer Dragoon, Planet Harriers multi-lock-on thing. You basically hold down the fire button to trigger the lock-on effect, and then you have to press the fire button again to fire, rather than just release the button.
Yep.
I can't think of another game that does that.
That's because every other game realised that's a stupid way to do it.
So how do you feel about the end of game boss, Andros?
Is this the one that's just a giant head?
Yep.
That sucks you in, if I remember right.
Yep.
When you're in space.
Yep.
And there's no air.
Although, to be fair,
Hmm.
you're not in space.
Are you not? I'm going on a 30-year-old memory here. I haven't seen or played this bit recently.
No, you're not in space. You go into one of the tunnel things and do the whole...
okay.
The whole equatorial duct thing. And then you get to me, but the background is really weird and wibbly wobbly, and
it's very trippy. I remember it being trippy.
You have to shoot him in the eyes.
Yeah. I remember it sucking you in.
Yeah.
But I thought it was in space. Weird.
Yeah.
Very weird. Like I said, I mentioned it earlier, there's a fucking fruit machine as one of the bosses.
Well, true, yeah.
A literal fruit machine. A one-armed bandit.
It's not a boss, it's like a secret thing you get to.
Yeah.
But yes, it is an actual...
It's odd. It's very odd.
I can't remember what it is you do to get to it.
I remember it being a hidden thing. It was something you read about in a magazine at the time and you wouldn't know about otherwise.
And then I guess the other secret is the secret I mentioned in our 50th episode Spectacular. What I didn't realise about this until I beat the game earlier this week is that the reason I would have left that running is that you have to reset the console when you beat the game.
Does it just not do anything?
No, so it comes up.
Actually, Pilot Wings was the same.
Was it?
When I finished Pilot Wings, it just sits there.
Mm.
The credits roll, the end of the game, and then just stops.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't stop. It just sits there.
Yeah, that's what it is. So with this in Star Fox, the end on the screen, I think your scores, and then it just sits there. But yeah, then if you didn't hear the 50th episode special, after a little while, it plays this really sort of monotone, quite cool, chimey version of the theme music. At this point in the 50th episode special, we cut it in. I'm not going to do that again. Can't be bothered.
Good effort.
Yeah, go and listen to the 50th episode special if you want to hear it. But it's one of those things that I discovered completely by accident, and for a long while, nobody else I spoke to even heard of it. Any other bosses stick in your brain?
None whatsoever.
No?
I can remember the first boss, because that's the one that I always get to and beat every time I play the game. And I can remember the fruit machine and the giant face. I can't remember anything else.
Yeah, the first level boss, I think, because you see it the most, it's one of those. It's the R-type boss, isn't it? It's that whole thing. Which just reminds me.
Also, it's really cool.
Yes.
It's this big sort of transforming hover tank thing. You have to shoot one side and then that falls off.
Yeah.
And then the other side, it sort of twists around to these two things that you variously shoot off. Then it itself comes towards you, spins round, flies away, showing you its flashing weak spot as it goes. Yeah, it's a great first boss.
It is cool, yeah. It moves around. When you know how to beat it, it dies in seconds.
Yes. You shoot the right bit, you shoot the left bit, and then straight in the middle. Yeah. I can kill it in about 20 seconds.
A couple of spins just to bounce the lasers off you, but yeah, no, it really does die in absolute seconds. But it is still great. But yeah, I think there are other very, very, like I remember the second level boss is another sort of version of that. But it does a great thing again when you get to the end where it brings up all the characters and all the bosses and all the enemies and says what their name is, and it does this cool thing.
Okay.
It's the sort of thing that you only get in Japanese game where it gives you the size of the boss. I think it's got name, weapon, and size, but it doesn't tell you what the units are. It's just like
size 28.
Yeah.
It's dress size. It's what size dress the boss wears.
It's a 16 on the bottom, but a 14 on top.
Well, it depends on where it buys its dress.
Well, yeah, there is
some
that as
shops
well.
it's a 60, some it's a 58.
Yeah.
You've got to get the sizing right.
I played through Star Fox 64. Like literally, I stopped playing it because I died, and then I went and got some beer, and it was time to start recording. And I got to the second to last level of the first run. I can't remember any of the bosses.
No,
and I haven't had much to drink.
the first boss, because I saw it in the PC port that I played literally like yesterday, was just basically like a robot, and you have to shoot one side of it so it falls over.
That's right. Yes, I remember that now. Yeah.
And then as it's laying down, you have to just take it off.
That's right.
Pick away at it.
Yes, I remember that now.
Unremarkable is how I would describe that boss.
It really is. It's almost like it feels almost like a let's go into all range mode for some reason rather than anything else. The level that I failed at, the second to last one, was actually quite good fun. There's like a thing in the middle that you're trying to shoot, like a tower with flashing bits on it. And while you're trying to shoot that, you've got the Star Wolf Squadron trying to kill you, and you're trying to pull everyone else's arse out of the fire and all that. So there's a lot going on. It's true of Star Fox 2 as well. I don't particularly remember any of the bosses. You go in the walk and you get destroy this cool. You literally just walk in a circle and shoot it, and it dies very quickly. And that's the same every time. There was later on, I think very much towards the end, there was one of those walking internal bits that feels a bit more involved. It's like you go to one point, you kill it, you open it, you have to jump on a switch which opens a door, and then you go down there. There's a bit more to it.
They were apparently, the original idea for those was that they would be much more involved. There would be much more to do in them. They weren't just a simple corridor that you walk down.
Yeah,
which is exactly what they are.
Yes. Absolutely. And I imagine if the game was actually finished rather than pretend finished, there would have been more to them.
There was one thing I saw in there which I really, really liked. There's basically like a space snake dragon thing.
Yes.
Which turns up in the intro sequence and cuts a ship in half with like a beam laser.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Died in seconds when I actually fought one.
Yeah. And I do genuinely believe that if anything, even if it is finished, it's too easy.
Yeah. I think that would have been a bigger experience in a finished game. You'd have looked at that and gone, let's make more of that.
Yeah.
Because we put it in the intro. It's really, really cool. But when you fight it in the version of the ROM that I've got, it takes literally 5-6 seconds to kill it.
And it does do the thing that a lot of Japanese games do, where you get a ranking from your playthrough, so to encourage replaying it. But I didn't enjoy it enough to do that. And it comes back to the point of the whole arcade thing that we've talked about countless times. Yes, these games were designed to take your money, but if they weren't fun, you wouldn't give them your money. You would walk away to a different machine. And that's, for me, the problem with Star Fox 2, is it's not enjoyable enough to want to replay it. And the frustrating thing is, well, not the frustrating, but the very internet thing about it is when it was almost like a secret, it was a ROM that was floating around the internet and that this is Star Fox 2. People were banging on like it was the greatest game ever made because it was like their secret thing. It was like rather than like judge it on its actual merit. So yeah, I think there's a fair bit of disappointment creeping into that as well.
Yeah, I find that's quite common, don't you? When people think no one else has got access to something, they'll make out it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then the second it's revealed to a wider audience, people start to look at it and say, well, actually, that ain't that special.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a game called Breakdown on the original Xbox. So when Mirror's Edge came out, which is a masterpiece of a game.
Great game.
People were going, I preferred this game better when it was Breakdown on the Xbox. When you play Breakdown on the Xbox, it's the same concept done badly. Badly is strong. Not done as well. So, even if it was inspired by it, it's nowhere near as good as Mirror's Edge. And there's so many examples of that. And exactly as you say, when people think it's their secret thing, they basically overstate its quality. Right, let's talk about cocktails, shall we?
Should we do your cocktail, or should I do my one more thing?
Do one more thing.
Okay, one more thing. And I did find this quite funny. When Star Fox was released, there was an international, the Super Star Fox Weekend competition.
Yes.
In the States, the grand overall winner was a guy called Trevor Petersma, who won the Texas regional thing, and then they put everybody's names into a big hat, pulled out his name. And his prize, they offered him an all expenses paid trip for him and his family to like 4 locations in the world, like London, New York, Tokyo, somewhere else, Rome or something like that, or $15,000 cash. Obviously, he took the cash.
Yeah.
But Trevor Petersma is quite a rare name.
Yeah.
There's only 2 of them on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And one of them has quite handily listed under his experience Super Star Fox Weekend competition winner 1993. So he's very easy to find. I love the fact that somebody's used on LinkedIn a game tournament they won in 1993 as their experience.
The game cartridge that they used for the Super Star Fox Weekend was Star Fox with a 4-minute timer on.
Ah, was that what it was?
That's what it was, yeah. That cartridge, because obviously, it wasn't like they didn't use an emulator. It was on real hardware with a real cartridge. But that cartridge with that built into it is one of the most expensive video games out there.
Is it really?
So it's basically a 4-minute version of a game you can pick up for about £3.
Yeah.
So it's a demo. It's a demo.
It's the time demo of Resident Evil 2.
Exactly, yeah.
Isn't it?
All those games. Like, I remember playing Skate and Tony Hawk's and these games. Yeah, it's what they used to give away for free on the front of the magazines, but because it's got a label on it that says Super Star Fox Weekend and it's a 4-minute time demo, it's basically £2,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for the American version. The PAL version is a little bit cheaper because of those 10 less FPS. So the PAL version will only set you back about £700. Right, let's talk about cocktails, shall we?
Let's.
Well, what did you come up with for Star Fox?
So Star Fox, as I think I've mentioned earlier, to me has always been a game that really, really should have been a Saturday morning cartoon. It's got that feel of, I don't know, Thundercats, those sorts of Saturday morning cartoons that you watch as part of a random 4-hour long show. Well, feels like 4 hours that we used to get in the UK. Going live. What were the other ones? Saturday Superstore. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Live and Kicking.
Yeah, all of those.
Yeah.
There'd always be like a cartoon that was sometimes split up into like 5-minute chunks as well. So you wouldn't see a full episode in one go. You'd get bits of it throughout the episode of the thing. But to me, Star Fox has always been screaming out to be a Saturday morning cartoon. So I found a drink called Saturday Morning Cartoons.
Oh, wow.
It's a bit on the nose, but I thought, yeah, that'll do. That fits.
Like it.
And it's a community recipe, which are always my favourite ones anyway, because when there's a bit of a story to them, they're a bit more interesting. I keep doing this. It's not one I would like, because it's a shot and a half of gin, 22.5 ml of lemon juice, 50 ml of orange juice, 7.5 ml of lime juice, 2.5 ml of orange flower water. Get this, you'll love this. 0.3 of a milliliter of vanilla extract. Is that a drop?
0.3.
I can only imagine that's a drop.
It's a drop.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
22 ml of Monin Orgeat syrup and then 7.5 ml of sugar syrup. So basically, it's alcoholic sweets. Because the only thing in this is fruit, sugar, and then some gin. And it's, just chuck it all in a shaker, shake it all up, serve it over ice. Nothing special to it. But the guy who made it, his history is that he was sitting with a group of friends one night, reminiscing about breakfast cereals and how they were made of basically fruit and sugar. So he came up with it. But I think it applies quite well to Star Fox.
Yeah. Miyamoto may have been obsessed with it being a puppet show, but I think it fits a cartoon. I know there is a fair bit of other media around Star Fox. I've not seen any. I think there's comic series and things. And
there was a short animated film made in about 2016, I think it was. About sort of 10-minute long, made at the same time as Star Fox Zero. It's like a sort of prequel to that. But also as well, he's in the new Super Mario film, which came out this week.
Yes.
And the impression is that there will either be a Starfox or Super Smash Brothers film will be next, which may or may not be terrible. I don't know. I won't go and watch it.
In my particular, well, on my particular feed, curated by my Google overlords to keep me in my own echo chamber of opinions, The Guardian and The Times and several other sources like tore this new film to pieces. Like weren't just, you know, dismissive of it and, you know, oh yeah, another cash grab. Like literally rips it a new one. I mean, The Guardian, Peter Bradshaw is The Guardian's chief reviewer, called it a soulless screensaver of a movie.
Wow.
It's an interesting one. It's a bit of a shame, really. I genuinely think it's a shame that, you know, it's one of the biggest franchises in gaming, and if it's being not given that sort of amount of effort and respect by the creators of the film, it doesn't sit well with me, even though I don't give two shits about Mario. It is a bit of a poster boy for gaming, and it's a bit sad that it would have been reduced to that. Anywho, sounds like a drink.
Yeah.
I was about to say a nice drink, but it doesn't, to be honest with you.
Sounds sickly sweet and very fruity.
Yeah,
I'd give it a go.
It sounds, but it's a nice tie-in because that vibe, it definitely has that Saturday morning cartoon vibe.
All of those like 80s cartoons had that kind of dynamic, didn't they? You'd have the ultra hero main character. You'd have the hard as nails second in command guy. There'd be a female character or a slightly less masculine character, often a child to appeal to like a younger group. And it fits that formula so well. I'm amazed they never did it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same in the Transformers cartoon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same in the Turtles.
Yeah, I was about to say Turtles is the same, isn't
You've got the uber hero, the sort of rough around the edges second in command, the techie guy, and the comic relief. It's a formula that's just been applied to all children's programming forever. So what have you got for us?
So Dave, as you well know, I completely forgot to do a cocktail for this episode somehow. It's not like I've been ill prepared for the episode. I've played a shit ton of Starfox in all its retro glory and read a lot and watched some videos. Did everything except look up a cocktail. But I did find and have just drank and enjoyed a cocktail called the Argonaut.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Apparently this is a variation of the Argonaut. And there were a few. I clicked through a few versions of the Argonaut that I hadn't the ingredients to make before coming across this one, which is a Campari version of the Argonaut. Created 2010, a geezer called Marco Dionysus.
Dionysus?
I want to say Dionysus. It might be.
Dionysus.
Dionysos.
Yeah, that's Dionysus.
Yeah, Dionysus. Marco Dionysus created it to celebrate Campari's 150th anniversary. So
wow.
So if you know what Campari tastes like, if you don't, it's just quite a bitter, fruity flavour, but very bitter forward. And that's kind of the profile of the drink. The main two ingredients are Campari and Pisco, a South American grape brandy. Obviously, I don't have Pisco knocking around, but I do have grappa, which is a grape brandy.
It's your homemade grappa.
It is my homemade grappa, the last dregs of it. It's interesting because I looked up Pisco and it says it's people describe it as a blend between vodka and tequila, which is almost exactly what grappa tastes like. So I imagine Pisco and grappa are very close in flavour. So I was happy to sub that out for it. Ingredients: an ounce of Campari, an ounce of Pisco, 3/4 of an ounce of pineapple syrup. I use plain syrup with some pineapple juice in it. 1/2 ounce of fresh lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of fresh orange juice, and 2 dashes of orange bitters. I really enjoyed it. I think it's that fruitiness, so you can tell there's a fair bit of fruit in there, but with the bitterness as well. It doesn't rate right. This is not on Differs. It's on a website called alcoholpilot.com.
Oh, that's new.
Link will be in the description. Yeah, not one we've seen before. As is always the way, we will add it to Differs because we're just like that. it was really enjoyable. It reminded me quite a lot of a Paloma, a grapefruit, which is a grapefruit and tequila drink, which is interesting because there's no grapefruit in it. But it very much reminded me of that balance of sort of bitterness and fruitiness, very much along those lines. It's a shake and drink. You shake it up and put it in a highball glass with ice to fill it up, and I can imagine having it on a nice summer's day and enjoying it even more than I did today. I would even go as far as say, if you don't have pisco or grappa, you could probably use Blanco tequila and it would still be a very tasty and I think very refreshing drink. I enjoyed it a lot.
But Rico Holmes, tequila makes anything good.
He's not wrong. He is absolutely not wrong.
I'd give it a go.
You'd give everything a go, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
You've all by yourself, Dave, chosen what we're doing for the next episode. So tell the group, please.
So I've gone for the game that I know as Shadow Warriors, which is a brawler with ninjas that came out in the late 80s that everyone else in the world seems to know as Ninja Gaiden. I wasn't even aware that these were the same game until about 5 years ago. It's never come up before. I've known of Shadow Warriors for no word of a lie, 30 years. And I've known the name Ninja Gaiden, but always thought I'd never played any of them for the same amount of time. So it's just one of those things where you know it as one thing and only that thing. And it's years later that you find out it's called something different.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. When the retro community hears Ninja Gaiden, I think it's how it's pronounced.
I don't know.
I think it's Gaiden. But anyway,
it means story. I did find that out.
Interestingly, yeah. So when I think the retro community hears that, they think immediately of the NES game, like famously brutally difficult. And I think when retro gaming in general was having its sort of first flush, it's kind of in the, I guess, around 2010. I think I'm speculating, but it was a game that was mentioned a lot and talked about a lot, but it was always that NES version of it. But again, I'm with you. I knew it as Shadow Warriors and as the arcade game, but this is very much the European name of it. It's a cracking arcade game, and I'm never going to say no to it because there's an Atari Lynx version.
Oh no. Bugger. I've just clicked as to why it's called Shadow Warriors.
Why is that?
It was late 80s. It was when anything ninja was banned in the UK.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I've only just twigged.
I remember this as a game that was really impressive on the Spectrum.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I never played it outside of the arcade. I only know it as an arcade game.
No, I promise you. It was one of those ocean games.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to look at that and look at the other versions. So again, a quick touch point: the ZX Spectrum version was given 92% by CVG and 90% by your Sinclair. So it wasn't just me that thought that.
Yeah, there were people being bribed to give good reviews to bad games. Even then.
But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. I think there's going to be a lot for us to dig into on it.
Also, as well, it's available on Antstream, so we can challenge each other back and forth over the next however many days it takes to get this done.
Superb. Yeah, Antstream Arcade, hashtag not affiliated.
Yeah. Hashtag yet.
So yeah, I think that sounds like it's going to be fun. It feels like we're gonna learn some shit, and we'll be talking to you about that next time here on Cocktail Mode, where gaming and alcohol are in our blood.
What are we doing? I've forgotten already. Where's it gone? You might want to start that again.